Hello and thank you for joining our Symantec webinar this morning. So we have Helen Murphy here from Bytes and Mark Kirsten here from Symantec who will be going through the webinar with you.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning, everyone. So my name's Helen Murphy and I work within our dedicated Symantec team here at Bytes. So just a bit of background on the Bytes and Symantec relationship. Bytes are a platinum partner, which is the highest level of partner status, and this is based on our sales and technical expertise. All of our account managers here hold the Symantec sales accreditations, and we have a dedicated team of product and licensing specialists that you can talk to. As well as our sales accreditations, we are specialised in a number of focus areas, for example, data protection with Backup Exec and NetBackup, archiving and e-discovery with Enterprise Vault, and we have a dedicated technical consultant delivering professional services in these areas and more. So I'll now hand over to Mark to begin the webinar, but ultimately please be sure that Bytes are a one-stop shop for Symantec, and we pride ourselves in having the best-of-breed licensing and technical expertise at your disposal while remaining very competitive in the commercial arena. So thanks again for joining, and I'll pass over to Mark.
Thank you for joining this. As Helen said, my name is Mark Kirsten. I'm a Solution SC at Symantec, specialising in Backup Exec. And just to give you an overview of what we're going to go through today, just a basic agenda. We're going to look at Backup Exec 2014, platform and application support, enhanced usability. So what we've changed, what we've brought back, what we've added to Backup Exec 2014, an overview of licensing and upgrades, a link to try Backup Exec, and then we'll do a brief demo at the end. And with the demo, it is running off my laptop, so do bear with me, it's a little bit slow. So Backup Exec 2014, stronger, faster backup. What do we mean by stronger, faster backup? Well, we made a lot of changes from Backup Exec 2012 to 2014. And in Symantec demo environments where we built 2 hardware stacks and installed 2012 in one and 2014 the other, we've got 100% faster backup from Backup Exec 2014. So we're looking at a one console, one backup, one vendor. What do you mean by one console, one backup, one vendor? Well, Backup Exec, using Backup Exec as a tool to back up both your physical and your virtual environments, therefore reducing the need to have multiple products, to manage multiple products in your environment. What does that reduce? How does that help you? How does that reduce your costs? Well, you only need one set of hardware for your backups, rather than managing one for your virtual and then a separate one for your physical. Also, licensing costs. As you are running one bit of software for your licensing, you can spread that load across your physical and virtual environment. And then reduce storage with our efficient deduplication engine. We have made some enhancements in our deduplication engine, which I'll go through in a bit, just to show you those enhancements and what we've done there, and allowing you faster recovery and increased uptime. When we talk about faster recovery and increased uptime, we're talking about the ability for you to do migrations, so from physical to virtual platforms, calling P2V. We also allow you to do B2V, so backup to virtual. So once you've done a backup of your physical or virtual machine and you want to convert that machine at a later stage to a physical or to a different host, we can do that with Backup Exec. So helping you, if you are doing a migration, if you are in the process of doing a hardware refresh or wanting to move to a virtual environment, Backup Exec can help you do that. In terms of backups and storing this, so with our deduplication option, what we've changed in the engine is we've increased our data integrity now checked online, hardware and checking storage leak online. We've increased a lot of the processing with deduplication. So you can store to deduplication in terms of store one set of data and then put pointers to references to other bits of the data wherever it is in your physical or your virtual environment. But of course, when you are then copying that data out to tape, it is rehydrated, so it's put back into its original form. And we've increased the speed of that rehydration process. So improving that deduplication, allowing you to do faster rehydration, faster tape outs, faster migrations. We've also increased the capacity of how much dedupe you can have per backup media server. So it was 32 terabytes. We've now increased that, doubled that to 64 terabytes. And other improvements we've made is with the ability to bypass the Windows local bottlenecks. Just what we've done there is just change the way that we talk between the client and the backup server. So we bypass bottlenecks, and that's nothing that users or anybody needs to do on their own. It's something that we do natively within the dedupe engine. Platform and application support. We're always striving to support the latest and best platforms, and with 2014 we've made big changes with this. So let's have a look at what applications we now support. So in terms of platform support, Windows 2012 and 2012 R2, that's both as a client and media server. So as a client, in terms of being able to back a 2012 or 2012 R2 server up, and as a media server, being able to install Backup Exec itself onto a 2012 or 2012 R2 media server. Windows 8 and 8.1 as a client and as a remote admin console. Support for Linux platforms, Red Hat, Ubuntu, and then also support for Macintosh, 10.5, Leopard, as most people know it, and Maverick and 10.9. And then application support as well. So Exchange 2013, CU3 and SP1, and we include GRT technology, so granular recovery technology. With Exchange 2013, we only support granular recovery technology on Exchange 2013 CU3 or above. So we don't support GRT for CU1 and CU2, only CU3 and above. SharePoint 2013, SP1 included GRT support, and also SQL Server 2008 R2, 2012 and 2014. For non-Microsoft applications, Enterprise Vault 10 and 11, so we support the latest Enterprise Vault. Lotus Domino, I'm not sure if many of you or how many of you use Lotus Domino out there, but we do support it, and then also supporting Oracle databases. Those are the notable sort of platform and application support changes that we've seen or made. Move on to enhanced usability. So what have we done in 2014 to make it easier for you as the customer to use Backup 2014? So we've kept the same easy job creation, simple staging as we did in 2012. So you can create a backup of a single or multiple servers, and then you can add the stages in as and when, whatever you need to. So if you want to go back up to disk, then replicate to disk and then out to tape, or back up to disk and then convert that to a virtual machine. And then once you've converted to a virtual machine, copy that back up out to tape. Kind of the possibilities are up to you, and as many stages as you want to add, you can add in. I briefly touched earlier on the physical to virtual migration. So three scenarios, or three ways you can do the physical to virtual migration. So you can do it in parallel. So at the same time as you creating a backup, you converting that backup to a virtual machine. Whether that's out to Hyper-V 2012, 2012 R2, or VMware 5.5. You can then do a serial operation, so do a backup, and then at a later date schedule a convert to virtual. That can also be done. And the new way that we've added in is that you can do a standalone convert to virtual. And what this will do is this will do a copy job, so it won't affect any of your scheduled backups as they're currently running. So you can do it as a separate job, and that'll just do a full copy job and then convert that machine to a virtual machine. How does this help you? What does this help you with? Well, it helps you with if you are doing a migration. So if you are moving from a physical to a virtual environment, it can help you do that actual migration. You can reduce system downtime. So what do you get once you've done a P2V? Well, you get a full running backup set, so you can restore whatever you've got running. At the same time, you've also got a hot spare running in your virtual environment. It's a fully working virtual machine running in your virtual environment. What does that do? It reduces management time and setup. So you've got this machine running. You can then at any stage test it. So if you want to do some testing, do a single convert to virtual, and you can then test that machine in your environment. Job Monitor is back. For those of you that have used Backup Exec in the past, you'll know that in 2012, Job Monitor was removed. In 2014, we've brought it back. Job Monitor gives you the ability to, with the actual jobs, it shows you scheduled or currently running jobs, so you can manage all those jobs from the single page. And the Job Histories tab below gives you a view of everything that's been done in your environment. So whether that's a backup job, a restore job, cataloging, or installs. So when you're installing agents out to servers, you can see that in this environment. You can also copy this and export it out to Excel or into an email. So if you need someone that says, you know, what are the scheduled jobs we currently have, or let's do a review of our scheduled jobs, you can just copy all the jobs, put them in a spreadsheet and see if there's any overlap or anything that you need to change within that. So giving you that sort of holistic view of exactly what's going on within your environment. Backing up multiple servers and applications. So there's also a handful of ways you can do this as well. So you can select 3 or 4 servers and do a backup, and you've got those 3 servers in there. Or you can create a backup job and then at a later date add servers into that, or remove servers when you need to. You can also set the priority of the server. So if you've got 4 servers and you want server A to be backed up first, so that if for whatever reason that backup job does fail at 2 o'clock in the morning, the first server that you've got in that list will be backed up. You can't do convert to virtuals with multi-server backups at the moment. You can only do convert to virtuals if you have got a single server backup. You can, again, with 2012, lots of customers like the ability to do server-centric, so backing up a server in particular as you want it. You can still do that, so you can still back up individual servers. And you can add stages in as you do with single servers on a multi-server backup. This is a new feature that we've added into 2014, so it's enhanced lower pane. So what do you get with this lower pane? Well, on physical machines, it gives you a view of what's been backed up within that machine. So and it gives you the whole view. So if you select that server, it gives you, let's say you've got C, D, and E drive. It gives you a view of if C drive hasn't been backed up, it will say it hasn't been backed up, and it gives you a 7-day view of that. There's some really neat additional functionality for virtual hosts. So if you do have a virtual host and you select it, the lower pane will give you a view of the individual VMs in there, whether they've been backed up or haven't been backed up, and they allow you to do a restore directly from that details pane. So giving an easy overview of exactly what is running and how it's running within your environment. This pane is also, you can sort of expand it, enhance it, take it out, move it, do really whatever you want with this pane, but just from that initial server stage gives you a very easy view of exactly what's going on in your environment. What I'll do is just look at licensing and upgrades, so what you can and can't upgrade from to with Backup Exec 2014. Licensing hasn't changed, so you've still got the a la carte licensing, allowing you to license per server application. You pick and choose what options best suit your environment or best suit you, and you choose those options as you need them. V-Ray licensing, so licensing per hypervisor. what is the per hypervisor gives you? It gives you unlimited use of the agents for applications and databases for that particular host that you have licensed. And then capacity addition, this gives you access to all the agents and options based on the front-end terabytes that you're wanting to protect. And then, small business edition, allowing you to protect up to 3 machines, whether those are physical or virtual machines. Where can you upgrade from? So directly from 12.5, 2010 or 2012, you can upgrade directly to 2014. If you're on older versions, then 12.5, it's either a multi-stage or clean install and manually recreate your jobs within that environment. I would always suggest that if you are going from an older version to do a clean install, if it is what it says, it's a clean install, so it gives you that easy view. You don't have multi-stage. It's not going to sort of play with your environment or mess up your environment at all. You click a clean, easy install option. Six-day trial of Backup Exec. Go to the website now, download it, trial it. It gives you free 6 days. Most other solutions give you a 15-day trial. This is a 60-day trial. Please go out there and play with it. What I will do is I will go into a demo now for you to actually so you can see the console working live in the environment. As I said at the beginning, it is running off my laptop, so please do excuse me if it is a tad sluggish every now and then. So as you can see, we've kept the same front screen. Easy, you can edit and change this as you want. You can add in the bits and pieces you need if you want to, change the size of what you're viewing or whatever alerts you would like to see within this pane. You can edit that so that it suits best for your environment. Every customer, every environment is slightly different as to what you want to see, what you're able to see in this first stage, and this just gives you that view of exactly what is running and what you want to do. You can also just, if you want to get rid of bits and pieces, you can change it as needed so that you can see what you want when you want to. Looking at the backup and restore, it's still very similar. So we've kind of taken the Backup Exec 2012 interface with all the features that customers liked from Backup Exec 2010 and sort of amalgamated to give you a better backup experience. As you see, with a single machine, you get a view of what hasn't been backed up. So at least you can see what's going on within that environment. And then move to a virtual host. As you can see here, you get a view of what machines are in there. And if I had done a backup of this machine, I'd be able to do either a virtual machine recovery or restore, do a GRT restore, so give you that granular view into backing up that machine. If we look at creating a backup, it's as simple as it always has been in 2012. You select the machine, you select what you want to back up. On this stage here now, what you've added in is the ability to add servers into stage. So either you create a backup and then you add servers when you want to add servers, or you select servers in the beginning and add them in there. So if I just add a second server in there, as you can see from those servers, they're not added in there. You can then, even with a multi-server backup, you've got that granular view into your server. So being able to select what data within that particular server you want to back up or don't want to back up. So if we didn't want the C drive of our DC server, we can exclude that from the backup. And then looking at the Exchange, we can, again, change what we want from that particular machine as to what you want to back up. So we go to the system state and the C drive. It gives us, we just need that information backed up. We can set the order of these machines. So if we wanted our DC to be first, we can just change the order simply like that. We go, the order's changed. I can edit and change the amount of servers or what servers are added in there at any point. And even once I've created the backup, I can go back in and I can add servers again if I want to. If I edit this, as you'll see there's a new delayed cataloging. So if I do a backup of my Exchange environment, but I don't want the cataloging to run immediately afterwards, I want it to run at midday the next day because my backup server's not doing anything at that stage. What that gives you is it gives you a quicker backup, but you still get all the benefits. Even once you've done that backup, you can still perform restores of virtual machines. You just don't have the immediate search functionality that you do until that catalog has run. That catalog, so if you run on a scheduled basis and you say, I want to do on a Friday night when I do my full backups, on Sunday evening I want to do the cataloging. If you've got another job that's scheduled to run on Saturday, that won't get in the way of that scheduled job. So it's a completely separate process, this delayed cataloging. Just a new feature that we've added in. Once you set the schedule, new things you can do is we've got include and exclude dates. So you can exclude certain dates from being involved in a backup schedule. So whether that's Christmas Day and you don't particularly feel like coming out of bed and checking your backups on Christmas Day, you can exclude that date from there. It's completely up to you. You can change as and when you want to. Storage again, a case of selecting what storage you want, pointing that back up at it, and then all the other features that we've always had within that, selecting what you want. Backup databases and logs, so truncate the logs of your Exchange environment. We can add a stage onto that, so I want to duplicate the disk storage or duplicate the tape. I can just add a stage in there, and allows me to edit that stage as well. Sorry, excuse me. As to what I want to do, and I can schedule that second stage as and when I want to. I'm not going to run that backup because it may just kill my machine. But if I do a restore, if I just show you the process of, let's say, doing an Exchange restore, again, it's still got that smart functionality. So because I've selected an Exchange server, it knows it's an Exchange server and gives me the Exchange option. If I'd selected, let's say, a DC and do a restore, it knows it's not an Exchange server, so it gives me the options particular to the machine that I'm doing the restore from. I do the restore of the Exchange. You can still search through, because I've done the catalog on this machine, you can search through particular items. Go down to a granular file within, sorry, please don't tell Disney. We've, Mary Poppins, we can go into, her sent items, and amazingly she's been sending Backup Exec 2014 test messages to Buzz Lightyear. So yeah, you can go in and select whichever files particularly you want to, and then restore those files. If I select a file, giving you, so you can select it to the original location, so back to that user's mailbox, or to a different location, so to a PST file, as when you need to. You can change that, and you can also add in, so if you add in recipients, so if this is for particular users and you want the manager to know that you're doing restores for this person, you can add the manager in as a recipient. So when a restore happens, the manager gets an email saying so-and-so has had emails or whatever restored from backup. You can run that now, or you can run on a particular date, or you can create it without a schedule, so it just runs once. If we look at job monitor, what I will do is create a basic job of our Exchange server, just to show you, because I won't have any scheduled jobs running in this environment. So just to show you how and what the job monitor looks like with a basic job running on Backup Exec. Sorry about the slight delay. It is the habit of running things on your machine. So just to the information still. Edit that. Yes, let's do a run now. So as you can see there, that job's now running in our job monitor. If we had scheduled jobs, you would see all the scheduled jobs within there. And then as I spoke about earlier, you've got all the job history, so what has been done previously within this backup. And these are all backup and restore jobs. There are a few catalog jobs in here. If we go back to when I started this, you can see the install jobs. So everything that I've done on this particular server is running. So whether I've created storage, whether I've installed an agent onto a particular machine, it gives me a view of exactly what's been done and everything that's happened on this machine. From the job histories, I can select and run a job again. So I can run that job even once it's run. If it was a single one-time job, I can go back into the job history and actually run it directly from there, because I know that that job works. I've tested it. I've tested a restore on that particular job, so I know it works. So I can just go in and run that job again. I can also duplicate that job. So run duplicate, giving me that flexibility to run those as and when. Restores again, I can do a run now to do a restore, which would mean whatever that restore was from that job, I can do that restore. Storage, still the same view, so you can create and add and edit your storage directly from here, whether that's just normal straightforward disk, or whether it's deduplication disk or tape libraries. It's completely up to you. You can run those jobs from there. The details within that, if I select, it gives me a view of exactly what's happened with this particular storage. So what jobs have run to the deduplication disk? Well, these are the jobs I have run in the past. Are there any active alerts that are running on there? And gives me settings for that database. I can configure new storage if I want to. So if I've added more basic disk and I want to create more storage, I can. It is a simple process of selecting what you want to actually create. Whether it's network storage or tapes or disk space storage, it's up to you. It can be created directly from here. And then looking at reports view, you can use any number of the pre-built reports, so backup job success, or you can create your own reports. So I've created an Exchange backup report now. If I run that report, sorry if it takes a bit of time. Gives you a view of exactly, sorry, gives you a view of exactly what's been run on my Exchange backups. and you can customize these reports as and when you want. So what time it started, anything can be created. If I just show you a new custom report here, if we call it field selection categories, job group, with all of these you get a number of options within each group. You can select filters, you can group particular, and you can add graph options in afterwards, so to give you that pretty view of exactly what's happening in your environment. And once you've created a multi-server backup, so if you do create a multi-server backup and there are changes or edits you want to make within that, if I just show you here and select a couple machines, it'll give you this multi-servers being selected. So do you want to create one backup job that includes all the servers or applications, or do you want to create separate jobs per server? So you can edit that as you want. If you say, oh, I always want to create one backup job for multiple servers, but then at a later date you go, oh, actually I need to create single jobs, so I've selected multi-servers, you can go in and change that configuration. Under configuration settings, backup exec settings, and backup, you can change those settings as and when you want. If I just show you here. It gives you the option for all sorts of preferences that you've run within your backups, so allowing you to, you can select so it doesn't prompt you, so you can set it as a, you know what, every time I create or select multiple servers to be backed up, I wanted to create a multi-server backup. You can select that and tell me, don't prompt me again for this particular issue. Again, your catalogs you can set as and when you want. Storage rules, everything can be set within your backup exec preferences. In terms of showing you a product, that's it. I hope you found it useful. I hope you found it good. I hope you got what you wanted from this. Thank you again very much for your time. If there are any questions, I'm very happy to go ahead and answer them now.
So first question from Brenda, is GRT support not available for Exchange 2010?
Yes, GRT support is available for Exchange 2010. I didn't put up on the slide, I was just kind of wanted to show you the latest, but yes, it is definitely available for Exchange 2010, yes.
Great, thank you. And a question from Trevor now. After upgrading from 2012 to 2014, will there be any problems backing up servers with the 2012 agent?
The agents will be backward compatible. It will be recommended that over time you do upgrade those agents, but the agents are backward compatible, so you can back up 2012 agents with 2014, yes.
Wonderful, thank you. And a question now from Ian. Can the disk deduplication dedupe over 2 or 3 disks, or can it only dedupe date from a single partition?
Dedupe, so you can have one dedupe pool per server, so you can have multiple disks in a single dedupe pool. And I hope that answers your question. If not, please let me know and I can try and expand or change on that. But yes, you can have a single dedupe pool per server, but you can have multiple disks within that pool.
Great, thank you. Another question from Brenda. Does recovery of an Exchange item still require a staging area for the mailbox database?
It depends if it's coming from a tape or from a disk. So if it's coming from local disk, it won't require any staging. It will just take that email directly from the backup and put it into wherever you choose, so either the user's mailbox or a PST file. If it's from disk, you will need to stage that backup before it is put through. So it's just something to bear in mind if you are recovering from a from a tape-based backup.
Great, thank you. And just another one on support for Exchange 2010. What service pack does it need to be on?
For Exchange 2010, at the moment, as far as I know, but I will check this and I will make sure it gets out to you, but we support the whole of 2010. I don't think there's a specific service pack that we support or need on Exchange 2010. We support Exchange 2010 as a whole.
Great, thank you. And one from Ed. We don't have any dedupe agents or options. How is this licensed?
Dedupe agents and options are licensed per media server. So if you've got 2 media servers and you want to use both of them as dedupe pools to replicate data between them, you would need 2 deduplication options. If you're licensing with V-Ray, so V-Ray comes included with the deduplication option. And again, if you are doing capacity-based licensing, dedupe is included with the capacity-based licensing. So the only time you really need to be thinking about it is if you're doing a la carte licensing, where you'll need to specify you want dedupe per, and you can have a single dedupe store per media server.
Great, thank you. And one from Stuart. What about older operating system versions like Windows 2003?
We do still support Windows Server 2003 R2. We don't support Exchange 2003 anymore. We've dropped support for Exchange 2003.
Lovely, thank you. And one from Mark now. So Backup Exec 2014 claims to improve backup times by 100%. Is this just related to the dedupe option only, or would we see improvements in normal backups via the agent?
Mark, what we did was we did an internal backup. So we created 2 bits of hardware, exactly the same hardware, installed Backup Exec 2012 in one, Backup Exec 2014 in the other, and did disk-based backup. So not dedupe backup, just basic disk-based backup. And internal testing, we saw a 100%, so not 100 times, but 100% improvement on the actual backup speed between the 2 of them.
Great, thank you. Another question from Stuart. Can you create selection lists like Backup Exec 2010?
As far as I know, Stuart, yes, you can. Another thing that's included is the command line interface on 2014 has been more aligned with the GUI. So if you want to sort of roll things out on a command line basis, you can do that through the command line as well. But it's also in line with the GUI. So features that are in the GUI are also in the command line. I hope that answers your question for you, Stuart.
Thank you. And another question, why have Symantec brought back multi-server backups?
It was something that we kind of went out to our customers and spoke to them and said, you know, do you need multi-server backups? Lots of customers were saying, you know what, actually we really enjoyed the multi-server backup. You know, rather than splitting my jobs, so I had, you know, 10 servers, but I had multiple jobs per server. That got split out. Now all of a sudden I don't have 10 jobs anymore. I've got 30 jobs, and I want to bring that back in. So that's why we brought it back in, just listening to the customers, but giving you the option to either do multi-server backups or server-centric backups. So just giving more option, more availability to end users.
Great, thank you. And a question from Dan. Can I convert a physical server to virtual, and then, if in a disaster, make that virtual machine a live server in our network environment?
Yes, you can. So what you get from a P2V is you get the full backup set. So you've got that machine in backup. So if you need to restore back that machine, fine. But you also get, I guess you can call it a hot spare. So a machine in your virtual environment that if that physical machine dies, you can turn that virtual machine on and up and running as a fully working, functioning virtual machine.
Great, thank you. And one from John now. To restore a file from a virtual machine, Backup Exec 2012 has to first restore the whole virtual machine to restore one file. Has this been changed to be able to restore without restoring the whole virtual machine?
It depends whether you're doing agent-assisted or agent-less backups. So if you do agent-less backups, you you can restore the entire virtual machine. If you're doing agent assisted, so an agent within that particular machine, you can then go in and select individual files and restore them as and when you need them.
Great, thank you. And one from Adam, is there still a CASO option? A CASO option, Central Admin Server.
Sorry, yes, I just lost the question there. Yes, there is still a CASO option, so you can still run the CASO option and manage your environment from a CASO. Yeah, still there.
And that's also available in the Enterprise Server option as a license now. Another one from Mark, RE licensing options. The appliance used to provide license for dedupe and unlimited agents on all operating systems, email, databases, etc. Is this still the case?
For the appliance, yes it is. The appliance is on a different roadmap to the actual software, so the appliance won't yet have Backup Exec 2014 software on it. For the roadmap I've seen, it's generally 3 months ahead of where the software is, so looking at September time for Backup Exec 2014 on the appliance.
Thank you. And just a question from Peter. I noticed you have been using a simulated tape drive. How do you do that? It would be handy for testing.
It's all we've done is just created a virtual tape library within the software, so you can run that, you can create that as and when you want. What I would suggest you do is download 2014 from the download link and give it a go. Yeah, definitely worth doing. Give it a try.
Great, thank you. A question from Dan. What benefits is there with the multi-server backup compared to the single backups, other than just having one schedule?
Well, I think that's exactly it. It's less backup jobs for you to have to manage. So when you come in the morning, you don't have to search through. If you've got 20 servers, let's say 20 different backups, you can just search that single backup, which gives you a view of exactly what servers have or haven't been backed up. So it's easy management and easy creation of jobs. So just giving you that flexibility within creating and managing your jobs.
Thanks, Mark. So a question now from Trevor. I already have a 32 terabyte dedupe pool. How do I increase this to the new 64 limit, as only one pool is allowed?
That is a very, very good question. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know the answer to it, but I will take a note and we will get back to you on exactly how you do, if you do with your current, if you can just increase it in terms of adding disks in and just increasing that pool size. To be honest with you, I'm not sure, but I will get back to you on that one.
Perfect, thanks. We'll get back to you on that one, Trevor. So a question from Ian now. Is there a limit on the size of a PST file when recovering to PST?
Trevor, I think in terms of what we would recommend as Backup Exec, I don't think there's a limit within Backup Exec. I think there's more of a Microsoft limit in terms of what size you can have your PST file, what size is actually supported. I don't know of any specific limits on recovering or restoring to PST files. But if I do find anything, I will pass it on so that you can get that information.
Brilliant, thank you. And a question now from Dave. Is this designed so that cloud storage can be used as duplicated storage, for example, a central BE server sitting in a data center?
Private clouds, you can replicate to data somewhere in a private cloud. So if you've got a data center and let's say a store, you can replicate from that store to the data center, either doing optimized replications, only moving deduplicated data. There is a roadmap going forward where looking at adding cloud storage onto Backup Exec, so putting a link in to actually add up to cloud storage. But watch this space for more information on that.
Great, thanks. Another one from Trevor. Do you support Windows 2003 standard, as in not R2?
We don't officially support it anymore, Trevor. It's not that that's a hard block, so it's not that we will block you from backing it up. You won't get full support if you are backing up a 2003 server. If it's not R2, it'll just be very basic support on that.
Great, thank you. And a question now from Mark. Can you just confirm if Backup Exec 2014 supports Windows 2003 SP1, SP2, or is it just Windows 2003 R2? I think.
It's just 2003 R2. I think as per the previous question, we won't block you from backing up 2003 SP1, but we don't have full support for it. We don't guarantee full support, but in terms of we haven't done all the checks and balances on basic 2003, we've just done on 2003 R2.
Thank you. And can we combine a single server-centric backups to a multi-server backup?
What I would suggest in something like that is if you're running you're obviously running 2012 at the moment, you've got lots of single backups. If you create a backup with whatever parameters you want within that backup and then add the servers in that you want within that single backup to create a multi-server backup, that would be my suggestion in terms of doing that.
Thank you. And one from John. With the agent on 2012, to restore the one file, the server will restore the whole VM to extract the file. This can be a big disk file. Does this still happen in 2014?
So if you've got an agent running in the file, you should be able to do just a GRT restore in 2014, so selecting just that individual file, as I did in the demonstration, because these machines are all virtual. With a GRT, we can just pick that single file up and just restore that individual file rather than restoring the entire VM.
Great, thank you. And one from Thomas is, if first server backup in multiple backup job fails, will the backup continue to run, backing up another server, or fail?
The backup will continue to run to try and back up the other servers. What you will get at the end of it, though, is it will say that the entire job has failed, which is something that is being looked at the moment to be corrected in the first update, in that it should be saying completed with exceptions and show that that particular server has failed. But at the moment it says that the entire job has failed. But we're looking at to change that and correct that.
Wonderful, thank you. I think that's all of our questions now. So if anyone, we've got a few minutes still, so if anyone has any more questions, please pop them in the box.
No problem, that's why we're here.
No, so there's no further questions coming in. One more from Stuart. So what operating system can Backup Exec Engine be installed onto?
So you can install it onto 2008 R2, 2003 R2, up to 2012 R2 is the latest version that you can install the actual Backup Exec onto. With some 2012 and 2012 R2, you can't install onto 2012 or 2012 R2 Core Edition. You can only install it into the full edition. But you can install the agent onto 2012 Core and 2012 R2 Core.
Great, thank you. And what about SQL versions which are supported?
So SQL versions that are supported, we support up to SQL 2014. So specific versions, we can send out a software compatibility list with the email at the end, which will which will go through and show you exactly which SQL versions are supported. But 2008 R2, 2012 and 2014 are all supported.
Great, thank you. And a question from Grant now. Have the requirements for remote dedupe changed?
No, they haven't changed. So in terms of still, if you're doing remote dedupe, it will depend on if you are doing client-side or not client-side in terms of how much memory, how much RAM. That hasn't changed. There are minor tweaks, but nothing significant that should worry you. Again, the hardware compatibility list is available online. Please jump on and grab that to have a look at all those options, or the 2012 admin guide to give the exact specifications on what is needed with that.
Great, thank you. And a question from Jamir, I hope I've pronounced your name correctly. How can we tell how long it takes for the cataloging on a backup job?
How long does it actually take? Well, because it runs as a separate job, you can see within your backup environment exactly how long that cataloging takes. If you want to do cataloging pre-process, it's a little bit more difficult. What I would suggest you do is run it as a separate job at a separate time, so then you can split out and see exactly when your backup finished, when your catalog started, and when your catalog finishes. You could also run a report on that to see exactly how long the cataloging takes for a particular job.
Perfect, thank you. And a question now from Trevor. When setting up a backup on a Red Hat server, it is very slow to show the file system. Has this performance been improved?
Trevor, as far as I know, yes, the performance has been improved. Personally, I haven't done the testing myself, so I can't verify it in terms of what I've seen. But in terms of all the performance, I know all performance issues were looked at. And so, yes, I believe that there is a performance increase in backing up Linux servers and seeing the file system.
Thank you. And just some clarification, question from Mark. So you say that Windows 2003 SP1, SP2 isn't officially supported, but do you mean that technical support won't be available, or do you mean that we can back up a Windows 2003 SP1 or SP2 server, but there may be problems during restores?
There will be no technical support provided for SP1, so it'll be first-line support, so it'll be in best intentions basis, so there won't be any second-line or further support for servers that aren't in the software compatibility or hardware compatibility list.
Great, thank you. A question now from Ian. Does the dedupe work at block or file level?
It's block level dedupe. It's all in a block level dedupe. And it's inline or post-process, depending on where you do it and how you do it.
Great, thanks. And just a question from Dan. This may have been answered previously, but I just wanted to check. Can you seed the backup from the backup server running Backup Exec or the Backup Exec appliance to any form of cloud account?
At the moment, to a cloud account, no, you can't seed the backup. Going forward with potential cloud support going forward, there may be something that's looked into that. At the moment, no, but do watch the space for cloud-based backups, because there may very well be something in the pipeline very soon about that.
Thank you. Oh, and a question from Jan. Can you just repeat the answer regarding operating system support for installing Backup Exec engine? The audio cut out just after the reference to 2012 R2.
Okay. In terms of being able to install Backup Exec, you can install it onto 2012 and 2012 R2 full editions. The core edition, so 2012 core, you can't install the actual Backup Exec media server, but you can install the agent, so you can still back up the Windows 2012 and 2012 R2 core editions. It's just the agent can be installed on those, but the full Backup Exec media server can be installed on 2012 and 2012 R2.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Mark. I think that's all we have time for, everyone, but thank you for all your questions, and I hope you found it useful. We will send a copy of the recording and we will contact you just to make sure all your questions were answered correctly with any follow-ups afterwards. So thanks. Enjoy the rest of your day.